You make hundreds of choices every single day. But what if I told you that every one of them has a hidden price tag? Well, today, we're going to find it. We're talking about the powerful economic idea of opportunity cost. So let me just ask you straight up. Do you really know what your choices are costing you? Because, the biggest costs are usually the ones you can't see, the ones that don't show up on any receipt. All right, let's get into it. So first up, we're diving into this whole idea of the invisible cost. We're going way beyond the price tag to figure out what economists actually mean when they talk about the true cost of something. And here it is, the big definition. Opportunity cost is simply the value of the best alternative you give up when you make a choice. See, it's not about the money you spend. It's about the value of the road you didn't take. That's the key here. It's a cost of sacrifice, not a cost of payment. And listen, this isn't some brand new idea. The economist Friedrich von Wieser absolutely nailed it way back in 1914 when he said, the true cost of anything is the foregone alternatives. This just shows you, for more than 100 years, this has been a basic law of making smart decisions. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. Let's make it super concrete with the story of a guy named João who decided to go all in and open his own bakery. Now take a look at this breakdown of João's bakery, because this is where it gets really interesting. On the left, you've got the standard accounting profit. His revenue is a solid $180,000, and his direct out-of-pocket costs are $140,000. So that leaves a profit of $40,000. Looks pretty good, right? But now, look at the column for economic profit. Here, we have to include those implicit costs, the opportunity costs. That's the $60,000 salary he gave up to run the bakery, plus the $12,000 his money could have been earning if he'd invested it somewhere else. And boom, here's the punchline. When you actually factor in what João sacrificed, his economic profit is negative $32,000. So while his accountant is telling him he's making money, the economic reality is that he's actually destroying value. He would have literally been better off just taking that other job and investing his capital. Wild, isn't it? So, if this cost is so critical, why on earth is it such a massive blind spot for us? Why do we ignore it all the time? Well, it turns out the answer has a lot to do with how our brains are wired. We get a huge clue from the work of Nobel laureates Kahneman and Tversky. Their famous prospect theory discovered something fascinating. The pain of losing something feels about 2.25 times more powerful than the pleasure of gaining that exact same thing. Our brains are basically hardwired to freak out about direct losses. And this right here is the heart of the problem. A real out-of-pocket cost, like paying a bill, feels like a very painful, very visible loss. But an opportunity cost, that's just a gain you could have had. It's abstract. It doesn't trigger that same intense alarm bell in your brain, so we just systematically downplay how important it is. And of course, this is all turbocharged by a few other fun cognitive biases. Loss aversion makes us cling to what we already have. The status quo bias just keeps us doing what we're doing out of pure inertia. And anchoring, that gets us stuck on old information, making us totally blind to new and maybe better opportunities right in front of us. Okay, so we've seen the problem pretty clearly. Now let's pivot to the solution. How do we take this concept from a weird mental blind spot and turn it into a practical tool that helps us make way smarter choices every day? And make no mistake, this isn't just for picking what to have for lunch. We're talking about the biggest, most important decisions in the world. From massive corporate strategies to national public policy, they are all built around this exact concept. This is a tool for high-stakes thinking. For example, in the corporate world, something called the wacc is literally the opportunity cost that a company has to beat for any new project to be worth it. And in government, the social discount rate helps them figure out if building a huge bridge is a better use of our tax money than all the other alternatives. So, how can you actually use this? Here's a super simple 3-step framework. First, just identify your real alternatives. And don't forget that doing nothing is always an option. Second, calculate the full economic cost. Add up the cash you'll spend and the value of what you're giving up. And finally, you ask the killer question. Does your top choice actually create more value than your next best alternative? So really, here's the one thing to take away from all this. The next time you have a choice to make, stop asking, how much does this cost? Instead, train your brain to ask a much more powerful question. What am I sacrificing to get this? That simple shift in perspective, well, that's the whole game. Hey, if you enjoyed this way of thinking, connecting a core economic idea to how we make decisions, and you want more insights on macroeconomics, AI, and technology, definitely make sure you follow our channel, Macroeconomia AI. And stay tuned for our next publication. We're going to keep breaking down these big, complex topics to help you sharpen your thinking and really level up your decision-making skills. And just a quick final note. This material is for informational and educational purposes only. It is absolutely not any kind of investment recommendation. Our analysis today is based on the 2025 Advanced Economic Analysis Series Research Report. Thanks for watching.